Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let's continue with our tutorial, and we're still in function because there are a lot of features in functions actually that I would like to discuss with you. So earlier we talked about cooking machine, um, which we have this. Now you might be wondering, okay, so when can we actually use return and print ln? So what we can do is, if you want to have, when can we use that print ln, you can actually say something like this: print ln, say info, we are now cooking, something like that. Right, I can actually add here, for example, print ln, right, we are info, we are now cooking, right? So if I run that and then say my food, cooking machine chicken, and then I run that, there you go, you have here, first when I run this, I have chicken and it says info, we are now cooking chicken, and then after that the output is chicken biryani, right? So I can actually put a semicolon here so that it will not print the output here, which is this line 57, which is chicken biryani, and it will only show this one. So as you can see, there you go, if I run that, right? Now let's make it a little bit complicated, right? Um, for us to really appreciate functions, right? So I can copy this, and then I'm going to create my new um, and then maybe I can delete this parts. So double D, that's how you delete this, DD. And then after that I can just create a new cell here, paste it here, and I can say version v2, right? And this time around I would say I have my input meat here, but I want to add a input meat, which is chicken, but I also want to have another option as to how I want it to be cooked, for example, right? So for example, here I can say, so I have your input meat, and I would say cook, I don't know how you say that, but maybe cooking style. No. Input meat, I don't really know how to, let's just say cooking style. I mean, there's no such thing as a cooking style, I think, but what I'm trying to say here, how do you want it to be cooked, right? So um, how to cook? No. Okay, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to say cooking style. But what I'm trying to say here, the cooking style can say, I can say if cooking style, say if input meat is chicken, and I say e, and then after that I say if cooking style fried, then I would return fried chicken, right? Else if cooking style biryani, then I would return chicken biryani. Else I would say I don't know this. Let's see. I don't know this. I don't know how to make cook this meat equals, say, input meat times, say, use in and then say style cooking. So basically I'm just actually saying I don't know how to cook this meat, and then I concatenate that input meat, which is chicken, assuming. So this will become meat equals chicken, and then after that it will further concatenate this text, which is in, and then the cooking style, which is in fried, for example, something like that. And then I can just say end, something like that, right? And then I can just copy this, and then I can paste it here, similar to that, and I can say if beef and fried, and I can say fried beef, right? If biryani, I could say beef biryani, right? So I have now two options, and I can just run it, for example. So now I have Cooking Machine version 2. So how to use that? So what I can do is Cooking Machine version 2, if assuming I want to have chicken and I want it to be fried, so the output would be fried chicken, right? Because the input meat here is chicken, so it will execute this part first. So input meat equals chicken, which is true. So because this is true, it will then execute the following, right? So it will now enter into this another layer of if else control flow, and then here it will then check the cooking style. If the cooking style equals fried, then it will return fried chicken and it will stop running, right? Because this is the return already. You are returning the output already, right? So fried chicken. So that's why when we enter the input meat as chicken, and then we have here fried as the cooking style, it returned a fried chicken, right? Similarly, if I say copy that, paste it here, and I say I want it to be cooked as biryani, and run it, as you can see, it will then write chicken biryani. Alhamdulillah. There we go. And similarly, if I change this into beef, it will return beef biryani. If I change this into beef, it will return fried beef. I haven't tasted anything about fried beef. But there you go. Alhamdulillah. So how is it illustrated, right, for our version 2? So if I go back to my notebook, okay, so for those who might be curious as to what I'm using here, this is a tablet. As you can see here, it's actually showing whatever I have here. It's actually called Supernote. So if I open, there you go. So now you can actually see this part is the one that you see in the screen. But for those who are curious about that, so let me just show you Supernote A6X. That's the model that I have. So this is the website of the. So there's already a version 2, A6X2. For my case, it's actually A6X, but Alhamdulillah, it's actually usable. There you go. You can check the website. This is the website of that one, in case you are curious. So let's go. So it's actually connected to my laptop. So this is the illustration that we have in our version 1 cooking machine, right? Where we have here the print ln, which is done by the chicken biryani, and the return here is the one that returned the output, right? For our version 2, so if I may copy this, right? Let me copy this, everything, copy, and then let me just move it below, and maybe move it further and paste it here. There you go. And oops, not that one. There you go. Oops, I paste it twice. There you go. And so what I can do, and maybe this one I will say this is version 2 already, right? Version 2. So now the print ln is now showing earlier, so I can delete this part, right? Even that one. It's now showing info we are now cooking. That's the print that you saw earlier. That's the info. And now the input, we now have two inputs, right? First for our input, so let me just delete this part first. So this one is the print. This is the print ln. You can think of it like a monitor in our machine, right? And then for my input, I have here two inputs. So one is, so if I can actually write it something like this one, something like this. So I have here the input. Let me just make it. Okay, let me do that. Okay, input. Here I have number one, input meat, right? That's the first input. And then the other one is cooking style. Cooking style. There you go. Delete that. And then this one is inputted into our machine. So we have cooking style and input meat, and then that you plug that, you feed that into your function here, which is named cooking machine version 2. And then once you plug it, it will then print info we are now cooking. This part, if you're curious what do I mean by that one, this is the one, info we are now cooking. That's the one you see here, right? So you can think of it like the one that's printed in your monitor. Okay, so let me just close the Google Colab. There you go. And then our output now, in this case, it depends, right? If you have two input and output, I mean, you have two inputs and one output, right? You have chicken biryani, right? So there you go. I hope you learned something. Inshallah, in our next tutorial, we'll continue still with function. There are a lot of topics that we can cover here. But Alhamdulillah, I hope you learned something. Assalamu alaikum.